good morning, most likely good morning to everybody. Hopefully everyone enjoyed that Kingdom Hearts 2 run. Now, oops, had a little hiccup there. So I'm going to go ahead and play East 3, at least try to. I'm Starbird. It's very early for me, and I am very rusty at this game, so we will hopefully not have any problems. I'm going to be taking some safety saves here and there, so I'm going to go ahead and get this started. So 3, 2, 1, let's go. And so basically, if anyone's ever played the first couple of East games, you'll notice soon this is nothing like that. This is more akin to like Zelda 2 than anything, at least in my opinion. It's actually a really fun game. In the Genesis version I'm playing because there's a game-breaking glitch within the first 5 minutes that makes this run extremely safe. And basically the first, I'd probably say 2/3 of the game is free. As far as, at that point it's just a lot of movement, perfecting, and whatnot. So we gotta start with this little cutscene, you know, lore and whatnot. If I ever actually took the time to read this again, I would probably remember what I was actually doing, but that is not the case. So, you know, we have love interest here. They meet for the first time. Not the blue-haired guy. His name's Doggy. Look, I want to call him Doggy for some reason, but I hope chat's fine with audio. Good grief. Alright. Making sure my buttons are right. So before I actually go into this next house, I got to change a setting. Configuration, there we go. See, it's early for me. Get in there. Alright, so the first thing we actually need to do is we need to buy some gear, and the only gear we need is an amulet. And so we're actually, normally when you play East, you have to get a sword, shield, and armor. 8-bit. This is 16-bit friendship. Gee, I mean, does it really look 8-bit? This is at least 16-bit. We got twice the bits here. So, normally when you play this game, you're supposed to get a sword, shield, and armor. When you equip all three in the Genesis version, you'll actually see him have a sword and shield. But we're actually going to buy an amulet. You will repent. Okay, I like that. So we're going in without any equipment except for this. I am going to make a safety save here because it's actually really dangerous. So I need to focus real quick and hope I can die really fast, but I need to get to the next scene. Ooh, that was good reflex on my part for being, you know, on like 5 hours of sleep. Up the stairs, thank you. Ooh, you're low. Okay, phew. Okay, that was actually very dangerous. So now we equip this amulet. 1. We go back in. 2. So the amulet will basically wipe the screen, and we do that here, and watch what happens when I do it the third time. And I am complete, and I don't know why it didn't level me, or to restore my HP full. That's never happened before, at least from what I recall. So we are now maxed out. So what happens is if you level up at the same time you use the last charge of an amulet, the game doesn't know what to do. And at that point you gain full money, full XP, and full ring power. So as you can see at this point, I can just literally punch things. We're not going to grab that chest, it's just a waste of time really. If you're starting out the game, you can grab that because eventually you get the defense ring. And it can help, but I'm at a point where I'm like, you know, the best defense is a good offense. So, and, you know, he gets pushed out of the way. And he tells us, and this, I hate this, this is like a barrier itself. You can't actually advance down those stairs until you get the long sword. If there was a way to do a barrier skip, like in Wind Waker, then that would save at least a couple minutes of time in the run rate there, but unfortunately there literally is a barrier that keeps us from, and ooh, I almost grabbed that. There's a barrier that keeps us from getting it. We need to pick up the long sword, which, you know, is an equipable item, but you don't actually need to use it. We're actually not going to be using long sword. We're going to be getting a better sword coming up, especially since we got all that mayonnaise. Oh, So the first part of the game really is utilizing just movement. Because there's so many curved edges, it's very easy to bonk, and in doing so, it definitely there we go. So we're gonna go to the first boss here, and I use the term boss very loosely. His name is Durin. Whoa, you did not stay in place. We're just gonna go up there. I'm actually pushing the sword button. Believe it or not, even though he doesn't have a sword, he does have the swinging motion in front of him, so it just doesn't show up. And yeah, he did not stay in place. I usually like it when he stays in place, but he didn't. So now that we got the long sword, which we're still not going to use, I'm actually going to make a safety save before the next boss, because believe it or not, the boss still can one-shot you, this upcoming one. And as sleepy as I am right now, I don't trust myself not to do something stupid. So we actually got to go back through here again. Thankfully, the dungeons, at least in this game, are actually very straightforward, aside from the final dungeon, which I may get lost in again because half awake and on only 3 cups of coffee. So alright. Hey, he's standing now. Oh shoot, I bonked there again, gee whiz. And there we go. That's a good drop. So, you want to, even though you got, like, unlimited health, and I don't say unlimited health, but, nope, I can't save here. Well, you know what, I'm just going to save up here. I'm being cautious, because, again, I don't trust myself. I thought I could save there for some reason, whatever. I normally don't save there, because I usually trust myself a little bit more, but I'm going to be making, safeties here. Okay, so if you jump and actually, instead of holding the swing button, you can actually do very short button pushes and slash multiple times, and that's what I did there, which is why he went down so fast. Otherwise, I would have had to make multiple jumps. So usually getting a one jump on Goliath there, as I call him, is pretty good. So with that, we're done with the first dungeon. As soon as we talk to the mayor here, you know, game. And shoutouts to the soundtrack in this game, because if you actually get a chance to listen to it, it is an amazing soundtrack. And I do prefer the Genesis version to the Super Nintendo. They're both really good, but there's just something a little more edgy about the Genesis sound chip, at least in my opinion. I grew up a Sega kid, though, so I may have a little bias there. Alright, nope, that is not where I wanted to go. Stupid up button. That is not the place I want to go. Whatevs. Okay. I actually need to go to here. So I'm actually using a Genesis Classic controller, or the Genesis Mini controller, I should say, which is perfect. I love it. I absolutely love what Sega did with the Genesis Mini. The only problem is it did not come with this game. How dare they? This is... I mean, when everybody thinks Sega Genesis, they think East 3, right? No? Seriously? Good grief, I'm losing the crowd already. Alright, so we got assigned to the next mission. We're going to go ahead and buy some gear. And we're going to get the full set of gear. We don't necessarily need it for the next dungeon, but we're going to need the gear coming up pretty soon anyway, so we don't want to keep max gold because we still want to be able to accumulate it when we do kill enemies. So I'm going to actually take the time and equip it now. The crowd likes the OST. Of course, the crowd should like the OST. So we're going to go to the next part. I think to the SNES version, or this little blind playthrough. This version feels way less janky. This version is less janky. But it's also perfect for speedrun purposes. The final boss is actually a lot easier in this version, too. If I recall correctly. It's been a while since I played the SNES version, because the Genesis version is my preferred method of playing. Still hoping to get this into Limit Break someday. Because this is, you don't have to grind one bit in this game. Of course, using the amulet glitch. That was called an omelet. An omelet. Oh god, now I'm hungry. Good grief. Why do I rock block? Why do I do this to myself? I thought of amulet. I thought of omelets. Amulets, omelets. See, I can never pronounce it right. Must be my accent. But now I'm hungry. And I want an omelet I can wear on my neck, and then I can call it an amulet. That's gonna be a thing. You know, throw some salami in there, we're all set. So, again, basically, these first few dungeons is basically just optimizing your movement and not bonking into a wall like that. And if you can optimize your movement, then that's basically what's going to save your time for the most part of the beginning of this game. Not being bonked. If you get hit, sometimes you lose a few frames in being pushed back. If you get hit from behind, actually can be a benefit. And down into the pit. Alright, so we're gonna pray not to get rock blocked too much like that. What I call a rock block when I actually move in like that. I actually lose my momentum moving into the pit. My favorite part's coming up here soon. I don't know why I call it my favorite part, but it just looks really cool. It's not cool on the way back though. And I love the music to this dungeon too. At least you get to hear it almost in full. Alright, I love this part. I don't know why, it's very safe as long as you keep going right and not get rock blocked. Any time your jump's right and you're fine, but again, I'm half awake. But it's better than being all, I'm gonna say all awake. All awake's usually better, at least it's better than being all asleep right now. Alright, so we have this dragon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so you count 10. I bonked there a little bit. So you count when those flames come up 10 times and you wait a little bit, jump and down slash, and you'll kill them. There is another method. I have not looked into it, but I have seen it done where you just basically crouch stab. And if anyone's played Ocarina of Time, we know how powerful crouch stabbing can be. Alright, so we defeated that dragon, and this is why I love the scene coming into that fight. I hate it leaving, because now you gotta try and leap over these things. And the reason you definitely want to keep as much health as possible, because you refill your health at the end of all boss fights, and the more health you have lost, the longer it takes to refill. So you want to do your best to avoid being hit, which in some of these dungeons, it's nearly impossible not to just tank through everything. Oh, there's a rock block. Yeah, that was such a funny cutscene. Yeah, you get caught and then just kicked into a pit. And it would have been easier for, just to kill them themselves, but if there's a fire-breathing dragon that can't kill him in the volcano, what really can? And when you get to Valestein Castle, you'll quickly find out there's a lot that can kill you. Because that's around the time when the game stops becoming safe. And I got rock blocked again. I forgot where I was. I do that a lot. Alright. Cross here. We get to listen to another loop of the music. And pray up those firebirds. And no, stop it. Stop hitting. I said stop hitting me. Good, good, good. Nope. I'm actually not getting rock blocked a whole lot. I'm getting hit more by enemies than anything. And we're actually coming up to the last scene of Volcano, so goodbye burning music, I call it, because it's really a hot track. Pun intended. You gotta intend those puns. Every pun is intended. Oh, wait, no, I've rock blocked again. And again. Alright, there we go. So, come on. And a couple more. And up the stairs. There we go. Alright, so love interest is back, and for some reason, she made it just fine. I think we should have been playing as her this entire time, because evidently she came through here without a scratch, and here I'm missing 35 health. So, now, one thing about this is that you actually can't just mash through text. You actually have to kind of time it, because if you mash through it, you actually could lose time. And we're in a speedrun, we don't want to lose time. Although, could you imagine if we gained time? That would be awesome. Alright, so he notices this funny orb, and there's a griffin statue, yada yada yada. We're just gonna play with this orb and see what happens. Alright. So we got another boss coming up, and actually this one is, there's a setup for it that can make a really quick kill. If you don't do the setup, it's still possible to get a quick kill, but this pretty much guarantees it, especially if you don't have the power ring, which I did not grab. The power ring you grab in the first dungeon, but you really don't need it. So you come down here, you duck 1, 2, that brings him down, jump slash, and dead. If you don't duck, he actually could stay higher up, and it can be harder to kill. So you go there, duck for a count of 1 to 2, jump on that rock, up, dead. Easy setup. So we are done with this dungeon. So actually we gotta go back into the mines at this point. And alright. This Chester Fried is kind of mad at us right now. I mean, when I look at that guy, I do think chicken. So, because he draws a sword, but he doesn't do anything. His name is Chester, so not to be confused with our favorite centaur in Shining Force 2. Okay, Doggy's going somewhere. I mean Doggy. We'll call him Doggy from now on. Just because it's wrong. Alright, so we do need to pick up items after the next dungeon, so we'll do that afterwards. But we gotta talk to the mayor. Not to be confused with the mayor, because this is not a horse. So, you type the text boxes right, and you can go through them pretty fast. If you're a few frames ahead, or even 1 frame ahead, you're gonna have to hit the button again in order to go through. And of course, there's the fanfare wait. If we could just skip the fanfare. Alright, so we have the time ring. We will not use it in this run at all. You can, I just won't. It's a shame we don't hear the entire track in this game. Actually, I think we did in the first opening sequence, if I remember correctly. It's a shame we never get to hear the entire, I think the track's called The Boy Has Wings or something like that. Excuse me, got a little lump in my throat today, it seems. Alright, so I promise this is the last time we get to hear this music, though. Alright, so now we are going to actually take the left path, and we will get the power ring, because this will be very important for quite a bit of the game once we get to Valid Scene. basically the biggest time you want to use it. Other times it's just because I got stuck under it and needed to jump, and that would keep me from having to turn back. So we're done with the mines. I don't mind. So now I got the serum, or excuse me, the crystal, I can actually do my purchases for the store. And that'll be my next to last shopping trip. Alright, so buy some harb. We're gonna buy a harb. What that does is if we use it, we recharge our health fully. Actually, my practice run, I never even used it, so mirror, I don't even know what it does, so I'm not going to get it. The amulet will come in handy again, and that's all we have the money for right now. I do usually get a necklace, not here, though I will get it towards the end of the game as a safety. Again, it's nothing you need, but it's also 50,000 gold, so I will have enough money for it at the end. But I usually get it before my fight with the final boss. I think I hit my mute button again. The thing is so finicky. It's right in front of me, too, so I gotta be careful with it. I do that all the time, too. I think the controller actually makes it. I'll blame the controller. Alright, so we go here. Now, this is actually one track I actually think I like better on the SNES version. But it's definitely, again, a little edgier in this game. I think I've talked more about the music in this game during this run than I have actually the actual game. The enemies actually in this area, you're going to start noticing you are not going to be able to one-shot. And what do? I one-shot it as soon as I say you can't one-shot them. What do I jump there for? I do that every time. There's a spike there that I can't. Yeah, at this point your weapon actually becomes too weak to really do anything. But that's okay because we got a weapon coming up. And we get a free heal as well. And there's a cabin. This is actually very short. I'd call it dungeon, but it's really not a dungeon. It's more of a, you know, a mountain. So we get the Bandit Slayer, which is the fourth sword in the game. Howdy, Brazilian guy. Hello, hello. I'm calling you out. I don't know why. Because you're the only one talking to me right now. There's like a few more scenes on this one before we go to the next boss. There's two bosses in this part of the game. Both very easy. After these next two bosses, I love this game too. It's it was actually probably one of my first speedruns. I actually got a world record in uncontested, and that has since been abolished. I say abolished, demolished I think is the right word I want to use. Abolished means something completely different. Alright, so we got the Harvey. So we're going to go ahead and equip our new sword, power ring, jump. I said jump and slash. You guys, how'd that miss? Hitboxes, please. So, we want to try and be closest to the ground. As possible, because I don't want to have to drop. You have to drop before it actually recharges your HP. So I was a little too high up there. So again, movement is very key. Yeah, this is a lot of nostalgia for this game. I played the Super Nintendo version growing up, though. Believe it or not, I didn't even know the Genesis had a version. And then when I found out that Genesis had a version and that there's a huge glitch in it, I was like, okay, this is going to be a fun run. Very fun run. And this actually is a fun speed run. It toys with you a little bit, though, because you have the easy The easy open Capri Sun, I mean, see, I am asleep. I am half asleep. You have the easy opening to the game once you get the glitch going. Except in this case, it's testing. Sega does what Nintendo. So we get one more boss here. You could equip the power ring to do it quick. I'm just gonna jump slash to save the menu. Knowledge E-Series is that it exists. That's basically the extent of a lot of people's knowledge of the E-Series. The E-Series is actually really good. Especially East Books 1 and 2 are really good for the TurboGrafx. East 1 came out for the Master System. Kuzo Yoshiro was Koshiro. I always get those mixed up. Either way, the composer did Streets of Rage, ActRaiser, some really good music. Probably one of the best composers ever. Did the music for East 1. East was really good with their soundtracks too. So even though he didn't do the later games, the rest of them have really good soundtracks. And if this game had a garbage soundtrack, it wouldn't be nearly as enjoyable. About the same as your knowledge of it. But, you know, that's fair. How many games they got now? They got 9, I think. I think, actually, they were at 8. I think they're coming out with 9, if I recall correctly. Alright. So now we get the heal ring. We may or may not use it depending on how bad I do with it coming up. Be careful. Yep, I'm gonna have to be careful because this next part is murder. I will be making a save, and I probably will be making a few saves, to be honest, in Ballastine. This is where the game goes, when the speed part of it goes from ridiculously easy to, oh my god, what have I gotten myself into? But on the bright side, you get some really good music. Alright, so we want to avoid being hit as much as possible, because you can just see one hit there, and I already took a good chunk of damage. We're okay for damage right now, but it's still dangerous. Those armor-clad guys in yellow they can take you out really quick. Spikes can one-shot you. Run from him, just keep going. You should be able to avoid everything in this path. And take the stairs. Wait for this guy. Over them and keep going. Those statues, if you actually hit them, can do a ton of damage. Which thankfully I have my harb, which is actually an herb. I'm gonna wait on this one. Yeah, they're a little bit friendlier, but and again, it's been forever since I've actually played. Let's take him out. All right, I'm probably gonna make a save here in a minute. I'm actually doing real good for health, so I may not have to use my harb. Watch out for those. Probably be after I get the battle shield, which should be coming up. Yes, battle shield right here. I will save before Simon Belmont, we call him. Ooh, ouch. Okay, that was not good. What am I doing? I am not playing smart right now. Alright, so that was not good. So I am actually going to use that. Yeah, that was dumb on me. You cannot jump over those things. And Simon Belmont will kill me at that low in HP, so I'm gonna go ahead and save. Yeah, strongest enemy. And you can't even kill him, so go ahead and switch to this ring. And duck and stab. So yeah, that was that was my mistake. Was trying to get around those. Again, half awake. So, thankfully to Simon Belmont, though, we now have enough money for the necklace at the end of the game. Thankfully, there is a place where I can get an extra herb in this dungeon, so I will probably be grabbing that. Optimally, you won't want to grab it, but get rid of him. I wonder if the time ring actually will stop those. Can't really just wipe out someone by biting his ankles. I mean, Simon Belmont is the descendant of Achilles, didn't you know that? Alright, so we are actually returning. Get rid of him. Thankfully the Gold Knights are easy to jump stab. Or down stab, I should say. I'll be making another save before the Fire Doge. Jump down, thank you. Controller, work with me. So wait for him. I do have Battle Shield, so I can tank a little bit better, but in the meantime, we're just going to enjoy the awesome music. We're going to go down these stairs, and you don't necessarily have to get the battle armor. You don't even really need a battle shield, but it's definitely a lot safer to get them. This game can be beaten without them. Even in the speed setting, it can be. So we're going to take our time here, because I don't have another harb. I don't want to waste my ring power. I probably could have wasted my ring power, but... Ooh, that was close. I almost ran into it. Of course, I was off the cycle. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and make a save. This Fire Doge can be Fire Doge. Ring, the battle armor. Come here. Oh, he's not taking anything. Whoa, Fire Doge, come back here. Wow, that was a bad fight. I didn't lose a lot of health though, so that's fine, but Fire Doge did not want to cooperate. Actually, yeah, I could have probably just used the heal ring back there for a little bit rather than use my harp. Alright, best music coming up. I always say that because that was a very bad doggo. I always say this is the best music because harpsichord. Always something about the harpsichord that just makes me shiver. I love that instrument. I can't play any instruments, so I'm not a musically inclined guy. I took music theory in high school, and I can read and write and whatnot, but doesn't mean I'm good at it. Unfortunately, we don't get to hear the whole thing. Is this the Final Fantasy VII Remake? Yes, absolutely it is. Alright, so we're going to run into some of the same enemies that we've fought at the beginning. You'll notice they are not dealing nearly as much damage this time, which is always good. We can just tank ourselves through this. Doors closed tightly, go get the key, just make another save. I thought it was Fortnite. You know, this could be Fortnite. Alright, so this is actually a very easy fight, but it requires a good setup. So get right, no, not there. Well, either way. Alright, so we're going to turn on the power ring, duck, and we're going to bite his ankles. Okay, no, that was a bad setup. If I was another couple pixels to the right, you actually can duck and stab his ankles and not take damage. Other than that, if you don't get the setup right, it's a DPS race. And as you can see, the less HP I have, the longer it takes to fill up. So the less damage you can take, the better. You try not to think. That's a good motto. Just try not to think. Especially when you're speed running, it's like you're better off not thinking. At least with this game. Alright, so the dangerous part of the game is pretty much over. The final 3 bosses can still be a pain. So we're going to talk to the real Pierre here. And he's going to give us a harb. So, if you still have your harb, you don't talk to him. But it saves you a fanfare and some text boxes, so it's optimal not to have to use it. but sometimes you need it, and especially with the final bosses coming up, you may need to use it. And everyone say goodbye to the rockin' music of Alastine Castle, because we are about ready to enter the Clock Tower, and this is where I would say Clock Tower Kappa. Because anyone who's ever run this game knows the Clock Tower is not anybody's friend. This among speedrunners, this is like right there. This is infamous for wow, okay, for eating inputs, and you got to be really careful with your jumps. And there's one jump in particular that I'm gonna save before I have to make the jump. And the reason being is that if you miss the jump, it's quicker to load the save. So we get the Protect Ring, which we will need for the final boss. But yeah, the Clock Tower is very not friendly. And how did that thing hit me? Okay, I may end up using the heal ring a little bit. So we got the Flame Sword, we got the Protect Ring. You are gonna just die there. Alright. So we're gonna make a safety save here. Really difficult programming segment, and there we go, okay. That's a really tough jump to make. I'm glad I actually got it first try. I'll read that in a second. This is demanding some of my attention. I got some ring power, I should be all set. Okay, good. I actually didn't have too bad luck with protecting from Alright, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to equip the heal ring here. We're going to put that and the Flame Sword. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and nope, do not change the swords, please. Video game without an awfully difficult programming segment and a clock tower. Yeah, exactly. Clock towers are the banes of everyone's existence. And something this game does. You know, I don't. It's been a long time since I've actually played through the full game. I don't know if there is a fishing minigame or not. I could be wrong. There could be one. So I'm actually going to make a save at the second pillar here because this boss is coming up. Hopefully, I get a good setup. Alright, so here comes Merlin, Garland, whatever. We step here, put the power ring, and we should be able to avoid the lightning. Oh, he got way far. Okay. Nope, 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 nope. I was aiming the wrong way, and if I had stood up, I would have died. So yeah, that was bad. He's dead, though. So when he teleported way too far, and that's actually dangerous because he can, as you saw that what I call the blue ball, it doesn't like us. So I cannot forget, because I use so much ring power, I need to recharge my ring power before I go to the next dungeon. So we get the final statue, which will let us go to Demonicus's island and complete the game. So we got 2 bosses left. But of course we have to have a cutscene where, you know, a bridge collapses and our love interest just floats in the air for a while. We get some evil purple text. And he says, bring the statues, and, you know, Demonicus, as he's called in this version. So we gotta make one more shopping trip. I'm gonna buy you the necklace and get recharge my ring power. I actually lost a race because I didn't recharge the ring, and I almost had it beat, but that was what it cost me, is I forgot to recharge the ring. Ever since then, I've never forgotten. Go figure. So we're gonna buy the necklace this time. I like how it defaults you to no. So the necklace, what happens is, if I were to die, it will or if I run out of HP, it'll automatically restore my HP to full. It's basically another free heart at that point. Alright. So, get one more cutscene here. Dougie's gonna come in. Gonna bark at us a little bit, but he said if we must go, then he's gonna give us something that'll help. The Fire G-Wall. Shoutouts to translations. We're not even going to use that. Normally you would use that in this upcoming dungeon because it's all dark. Once you know the layout, God hopefully I remember the layout. Once you remember the layout, it's not bad. But I will be still making a save. Yep, G-Wall. And now we get to sail. With black eyes, evidently. That always creeped me out. He's got no eyes now. Alright, so we're at the final dungeon. I'm gonna make a save here. Because I don't know if I remember my way around the... So I need to make it in the next scene. Whatever. I don't know if I remember my way around the Dark Maze, so... These things actually take a while to kill. But you want to conserve your ring power. Power ring strike will take him out. Alright, so we wait for him. Okay, so that's... He will not go where the elevator is, so that's actually an elevator. And we're just going to hold right until we go to the next scene. Okay, and I'm actually going to save here as well. Probably a bad idea, but we'll try it. So we're going to hold the slash button and we're going to hold left on this fall here. These skeletons are actually a little weaker. And they're going to fall again and we're going to hold right. And there should be only one more room left before the boss. Okay, this is fine. And the boss is coming up. So there, we made it to the Dark Maze just fine. We had a long walk for the boss at the opening cutscene area. So basically the strategy is the same. Kind of get into his cape a little bit, equip the power ring, and... Ooh, that was bad. That should be fine. Oh, there we go. Actually, I only took 1 damage. Wow. We'll use a little more ring power than I wanted to, but... So yeah, you just get into his cape, duck and stab. That's basically it. Now let's just hope that Demonicus treats me okay. I will be saving for him. So we'll do this cutscene. When you stare into the night ocean, it stares back at you. That's why he doesn't have eyes, right? Alright. So, the upcoming boss is a pain. The floor moves, and sometimes you can lose your jump input because of it. And that's one of the things that makes this very difficult for speed. Alright, so we're going to save here. And here we go. So we're going to wait until the boss... We're going to go to the right side and wait for the boss to appear. But yeah, you can see... When it gets within jumping range, we're going to go ahead, equip the power ring, equip the amulet, and... 1, 2, 3... I'm going to try and do some multiple jump slashes. Wow, okay, this is bad. This is actually very bad. That first arm should have gone down much faster. Okay, so now... Wow, stop eating my input much? Okay, so I ran out of HP, so you see the necklace is kicking in. I'm going to try and hold the power ring as long as I can. Alright, we're going to switch it up a little. We're going to go to the serum, and we're going to go to the protect ring. And pray he doesn't do stupid stuff like that. The serum's going to give us the charges. The protect ring will make us completely invulnerable to damage. But there we go. So we didn't need the extra harb. We did enough damage with the power ring. Once you get to a certain point, it's better to sit on that. But if you start running low on ring power and you still haven't killed the boss, then you want to harb up and then switch to the power ring and hope that you don't take too much damage. That's a very tricky fight to use less than 2. Actually, I was at 141, I think, at the end of Merlin 2. So I used about 180 ring power on that one, although I did charge 3 times, so... And that's why you get the serum as well, because I would have run out of ring power very easily without it. Time is not yet, though, so... But that was the final boss. The time comes up when we actually exit the town. So I will let you know. I'm glad this game was actually treated me well. I actually did not die. I came close to dying on the opening part. And I made a lot of safety saves, so... Other than that, this is East 3. It's a very... What game? No, you're not supposed to go in there. Go back out. Oh, rip PB. Actually, I think my PB I don't use a save anyway, except maybe in Clock Tower. I don't know why you did that. Why was I holding up? I don't know. My whole childhood in under an hour. This item is so broken. His wiggly hands. Yeah, using the amulet takes a good chunk out of the main core. I don't think it does anything to the hands. It might. Alright, so there's a doggy chasing after us again. And that's time. So that is East 3. Oh, good grief. So a little around 50 minutes, that's good. That was a much better time than I thought it would be. So we're gonna jump right into the next game. There's a reason I actually chose this. There's actually a reason I decided this was an okay time slot. I didn't want any. I didn't want anybody to see this. No, I didn't want any unwelcome guests plaguing